I'd like to welcome you to our program, One Power. This program is sponsored and brought to you by the Simi Valley Religious Science Center for Positive Living. This week, we're in the third week of a series with our very special guest, Walter Starke. Was Jesus the Son of God?
Well, here's the thing.
That's a heavy question, you know.
Well, yes, absolutely he was, just like you.
Yeah.
You know, or me. We all are. And here's the thing. A great disservice was done to humankind at the Council of Nicaea in 325 A.D. That's when the Emperor of Rome pulled a trick. He had to rule 2.5 million people. How can you rule people who don't believe that the government is the ultimate authority? Like Jesus, who said, the authority is within me.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
And they didn't like that. So he was smart. He got all the different factions of the Christian church together and said, okay, fellows, now you codify the church, make it an organization, and I'll make it the official religion of the whole Roman Empire. Well, these guys were human beings, and it meant power.
Ego.
So they did it. Nicene Creed, which since has been said in every church, you know, believe in God the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, and in his only Son, right, Jesus Christ. Yeah. By the addition of that one word, only, they almost killed the Christ message. Because if they'd have told us about Jesus' humanity, see, what they did by saying he was the only Son, they cut him off from his humanity, right, and they cut us off from him, because he was the only one, we weren't. And what's worse is they gave us an excuse. We didn't have to follow his teachings because he was God, he knew what he was doing, but I'm just me, see. If they'd have told us that he did all the things we did, had all the temptations we do, that he stumbled, he fell, he cried, he violated his own principles. For instance, on one day, you know the story, he was walking in the countryside and he was hungry.
The fig tree?
And he saw this poor little fig tree. It wasn't even its season to have figs, but he wanted figs. So he got mad at the tree and withered the tree, and the same day he goes into the temple and whips the money changers.
He was in a bad mood that day.
Yeah, that's it. So that's what it was. He was in a bad mood. And so why is that important? Because then when we have a bad mood, when we have a bad day, we can say, well, he had them and he triumphed over them. He ultimately made the supreme triumph. He proved that I'm not a body, I'm consciousness. So destroy this body, and in 3 days I will raise it up. He didn't say, I'll raise me up. Right. I will raise it up. And so he showed that we are spirit, we are consciousness. And that's really the basis of metaphysics, going right back to Mary Baker Eddy. And so when we recognize his humanity, then he's real to us. Then we can emulate him and do the things he did. And really, then we can have real love for him. We can't have love for this inhuman thing that they've painted him as being.